y'all, it is me, Azalea. You're watching my YouTube channel, WayCrunchy. And it is fall out here. It is really freaking fall out here, y'all. So when fall arrives, when it really here in Virginia starts to get a feeling of fall, then my birthday arrives. And having my birthday more towards the end of September, the beginning of September can feel like, oh, maybe fall is here, but it still feels like summer, and you can still go swimming at the beginning of September, but you can't go swimming at the end of September. I mean, global warming's coming for us, but it ain't come that far yet. So I always know that when my birthday gets here, fall is truly going to be here. And I've lived in Virginia my entire life in different locations. And so my birthday's upon me, you know, 3/9. And I've had, presumably, my last baby. So I've got a beautiful baby boy. I've got my 2 older children. I have a partner. I have a house. If you've been watching the channel, then you know all that journey, because I've been filming for years as I went through. It turns out that when I started WayCrunchy, Tom was a little preschooler, C was a little toddler. It seemed as though I was settled down at that point. And when I started the channel, I had just moved back to the Lynchburg, Virginia area from the Richmond, Virginia area. I'd been in Richmond for 10 years. So I started the channel kind of as a social outreach, because I'd left behind where I'd been living for 10 years and my connections and my friends. So I started the channel when I was in Lynchburg. Little did I know that this channel was going to be a drama, an unfolding drama. And so I started the channel with my toddler and my preschooler and my homeschooling and my chickens and my homestead and my urban homestead. And I was so into urban homesteading. I taught a class. I taught a workshop on urban homesteading through Lynchburg Parks and Rec. And I still could. And it hurts my heart that I had to step away from homesteading, because if you read my book, Memoir of Millennial Motherhood, the link is in the bio of the description of every single video I've made since I published the book. Y'all, my life had been built on a rotten foundation. It tumbled down. I had to rebuild. I had to emerge from the rubble with a child on each hip and rebuild my life. And that turned out to be on the WayCrunchy YouTube channel. So the whole journey turned out to be on the WayCrunchy YouTube channel. This great rebuilding of my life on a solid, strong foundation. And you got to have the right people. You got to rely on yourself. You've got to have goals. You've got to work single-mindedly towards your goals. You got to have a place to live. You cannot go into debt to achieve your goals, because then you're chained to paying the debt. Anyway, it's all about freer life, free to live true to my belief system. Anyway, that's what WayCrunchy has ended up being. And so here I am, 39. Next year I'll be 40. You know, and that feels big. 40 feels big. 40 feels like the biggest thing since 18, kind of, you know? For me, it feels big. Especially, I feel like it's just big. It's big. It's different. But 39 this year. And I have already celebrated with my children, and it's been very lovely, low-key. I'm prone to depression around my birthday. And I want to share with you what my children have gifted me with for my 39th year. So, Zinnia, my daughter, she had someone at school help her. You can see she traced over ink writing. Happy birthday, Mom. But then she did the writing on the inside. And it's just nice that she remembered me and went to school and asked someone to help her make me a birthday card. That's the gift. And so I'll show y'all. I don't know if you can see good. Y'all know my little Zinnia, right? I heart mom. You are the best chef. I heart you, mom. And then at the bottom, she says there's a picture of me and her. What's really interesting is I feel like my whole life I've been deterred from cooking. Like my mom she didn't teach me to cook. And she said, oh, I wasn't allowed to stir one of her pots. You know, it is a sin to stir someone else's gravy. I think there's some exact words that have come out of her mouth. And there's just no culture of me picking up any of the cooking when I was growing up, or helping in the kitchen. There was no joy in the kitchen. And then I was a young adult, and so I'm like trying to figure out, like, I moved into my own apartment the day after my 18th birthday. So as a young adult, I worked at a restaurant. I worked at restaurants for 10 years, and I ate at the restaurants I worked at. You know, maybe I had ramen in the house, maybe I had oven pizzas. Gosh, really did not eat at home, barely at all. Really did not eat much, barely. I did not eat much. Not because I didn't have the money or the resources to eat much, but I just didn't eat much when I was a young adult. When I went away to college, I spent a few years just working before I went away to college. I weighed 95 pounds when I went to college. But anyway, at some point, I started cooking. And I think it was after my granny passed away that I started cooking. I feel like remembering her potato soup was part of what, when I would be sick as a little child, Granny or Granddaddy, or Granny and Granddaddy, would do something like come over and bring me grapes from the grocery store. Potato soup that Granny had made to help me get well. Anyway, so I started thinking about potato soup, and I started learning to cook and teaching myself, and bit by bit. And it was like, and then when I was married, that's in my past, it was like a running joke what a bad cook I was. And like a running joke. And it just became like this thing that was mentioned a lot of the time is that I don't cook, I don't know how to cook, I'm not good at cooking. And it was like something that my ex-husband felt was like that he was good at. I don't know. It's my whole life. It seems like the cooking thing is an issue. An issue. I got issues. Anyway, my children and I, when it was just the three of us and my single mother journey, you know, I needed a lot of assistance. I was starting my life over from scratch, and I got food stamps. And there were other places where you could go and get like free loads of produce and stuff. And I got really, really, really into cooking. And I was vegetarian that whole time. And, you know, I didn't write much cooking, even though I wasn't good at it when I was married. Like, and I was still eating meat for a lot of that time. Like, I made a lot of meatloaf. I made pork chops. Chicken. Anyway, I think the truth of it was I was probably an okay cook then, but I got really into cooking after that, and did so much cooking with my children. If you remember my first single mom apartment, because this story is on YouTube, remember when I used to cook in my pink kitchen? It was part of my healing journey. It was part of my healing journey. A whole life. I started healing from my whole life in that apartment. And cooking and fresh produce And my garden was a huge part of that. Now, I had gotten heavy into urban homesteading, chickens, and gardening while I was still living under this false reality that Azalea's bad at cooking. And then, so I grew food, and nobody can deny I can grow some food, but I started to really cook and cook with my children and look into vegan recipes. And for those years when I was starting back out, I knew I needed a place to live, the fixer-upper, you know, and I was thinking, is it a camper? Is it a bus? Is it a yurt? I was on a quest to find a place for me and my children to live that could not be taken from us. So I was saving every penny. But with the food stamps are for food. And so I would go and I would spend the money on food. And my panic disorder was so bad that I could not even work as a yoga instructor. And I tried. I had huge panic attacks in public places, and while people were waiting for me to teach yoga, eventually I got back and I was okay, but for a while I was debilitated by my panic attacks, and I found healing at home with the food stamps, and with my children, and in my little pink kitchen in this tiny apartment that was very dilapidated. Towards the end of me living in that apartment, the building inspector came because my landlord had been flagged because some of his other apartments he was renting out got condemned while people were living in them, and so they came to inspect mine, and I ended up finding the barn before my apartment was condemned. Y'all can go back and watch all these years of my life here, or read the book. And so cooking was very, very healing for me. And my daughter's 9 years old, and it means it's all about my birthday and being 39 and about to hit 40. And my daughter thinks of me, the thing she would write about me in a card that she would have someone help her write, the thing that she would write about me is that I'm the best chef. And that's a really, really powerful, for me, that's what I consider an accomplishment. That my children have a better relationship with cooking, a better relationship with food, and their mama, and she thinks her mom is best chef. So that was a really good birthday present. Yay, Zizi. Okay, now that was all very deep and emotional and sang of therapy. And that's how I am around my birthday. That is how I am around my birthday. It always is. Now, Tom, he's like, what do you want for your birthday, you know? And my kids don't go out, shopping with money and stuff, and that would, that's fine, but I like my heart to sing. So I was like, I want you to write me a story. One year he wrote, I can't remember if it was winter solstice or my birthday or what, but he did this comic. That's my little baby talking. He's talking. I like his stories, and I told him I would especially like his stories when me and him are the characters. And so Tom gave me this folder that he put paper in and put a story, and I'm going to read you this story. He gave it to me for my birthday, so I'm going to share it because it's mine to share. Hi, I'm here to tell an amazing story of an amazing hero named Azalea the Great, the saver of Eldris. But first I have to tell you about Azalea the Great, so here I go. Azalea making her way on her noble steed, and then all of a sudden she stopped to see little face in the bushes to the left of her, and all of a sudden the little figure came out the bushes and introduced himself as Tom from the future. and said, "I am here to learn about the great Azalea and her amazing adventures." Tom said. "Why should I let you come with me, runt?" Azalea said. "Well, I'll make you famous in the future," Tom said. "Sigh, you can come with me," said Azalea. As they venture into the unknown, as they venture through a desert, jungle, a wasteland. Tom almost died in that one. "Finally a village. It's nice to see civilized people," said Tom in a sigh of relief. Okay, so this adventure goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And I just wanted to share a little bit of that. This is thrilling, thrilling, thrilling present. So I celebrated my birthday I did like a birthday weekend, and it was simple, and just like eating the things I like to eat, my favorite food, and everyone being nice to me. Not that they aren't normally nice, but it's kind of like, it's my birthday weekend, we gonna do what I want to do, just kind of that's the vibe. And very nice, I love it. Now, on my real birthday, it's going to be, like, date night with me and John and the baby, because I always keep the baby with me. So, that's one of my more popular videos. I made a popular video on attachment parenting. That's in the early years playlist with Tom and Z, which I put on. I made a playlist of the early years because the YouTube channel has been going so long, and I got so many new followers when I was fixing up the fixer-upper, that a lot of y'all haven't seen that, but you see Tom and Z now, and you're like, it's cute to go back and look at them when they were little. I was very different. It's not so, obviously I've been through a journey and grown. I style myself a little differently. I don't dye my hair anymore. I had dreadlocks for a long time. I don't have that, but, over the years, the camera and making videos has just become me talking with my internet fam, me talking with real people. And I think at first it was more like being on stage, which is something I did a lot of when I was younger. And so it was like stage acting, I think, or public speaking. And then you can see now, yeah, I'm just talking with y'all. So if you've noticed, if you go back and look at the older videos, it's different. It's different. It's hard for me to watch some of the earlier videos because I'm just like, oh my gosh, why am I acting like that? And, you know, because I was doing it like public speaking or stage acting. And then eventually just over time, it's just become part of me and what I do and how I communicate. Do y'all hear this? But he's not upset. The baby is not upset. He is just talking. My sunflowers have come in. I've yet to put the clothes on. I'm still drying my clothes on the porch, but drying my clothes outside is a ritual, and I love it. I got me and John and the family. We got these mums as a present and a couple of pumpkins, and things are looking really fall, really charming, really lovely around here, which is one of the things I always love about September. October's my favorite month. September, well, you know, the beginning of September is still summer. I do not like my birthday. So I say September would be my favorite if it didn't have my birthday in it. But honestly, it's still summer at the beginning of September. But October is fall here in Virginia. October is cool and beautiful and crunchy leaves and, you know, flowers and pumpkins and produce and harvest, but everything has it froze and died back. And I love it. I love October. November's going to come. November's going to get cold. Real cold. I don't want that. I don't want that. October's perfection. So I'm going to just show you guys just some beauty here at home and in my garden. My garden didn't go as big as I wanted this year because I was busy giving birth, and then the recovery from this birth was a freaking doozy. like nothing else I have ever experienced. So I'm gonna show y'all some beauty around here. Garden didn't go as big as I wanted, but drip by drip the bucket fills. One of my favorite sayings of all time. Drip by drip the bucket fills. Apply that to everything. And also, drip by drip the bucket fills, in a way, is the definition of maturity. And now that I'm about 40, I can talk about being mature. When you're young, you want things right away. When you're young, you're upset when you don't get things right away. When you're older, you can look back over the years and see how little things you did every day really got you somewhere. And you can see how if you had been doing this little thing all along, you really have something now. And then you got a little regret. But you can move forward. You can move forward. Drip by drip, the bucket fills. You want to learn a new language? Learn a word a day. You know? You want to start reading? Read a page a day. You know? It will add up. And most things build steam as they go, and momentum. So anyway, drip by drip the bucket fills. Know that in your heart. Apply it to what's important to you, what you wish you had. Lord. All right, now I'm just over here thinking, mature? Yeah, I am mature. I'm getting a little bit old. I got grays all in my hair. But I done birthed a baby. And, oh, I did 3 miles. I did a 3-mile hike. Flat, no incline to it, but I did 3 miles as part of my kind of special birthday weekend, and that is the longest I have done since a baby was born, or since I was in my pregnancy. So I did 3 miles. I started to feel, because I had that traumatic C-section, I started to feel like my surgery, like my scar tissue, by the end of it. But I was not in pain. I could just kind of feel it pulling and being like, oh, hey, I'm still here. But yeah, so my body's feeling good. I'm feeling surprisingly good. I struggle with a bout of depression here and there, and I'm gonna have more of that. Winter's coming, seasonal depression, but I got a light, I got coping mechanisms, I have a supportive family. Thank goodness. So let me show you some beauty around here. Well, if this ain't the most beautiful thing you ever seen in your life, then I don't know what is. Are you the most beautiful thing in the world? Are you the most beautiful baby? Are you talking? What are you going to say to Mama? Say hi, Mama. Hi, Mama. Drip by drip. My sort of wild hill garden is all right. I'm gonna get some bigger things growing up in this little garden. Need some height up in here, but I still got tomatoes coming in, peppers, parsley. I'm growing some flowers in here, all sorts of stuff. Little patio area, backyard. The place is coming along. Little garden. My car is always a sense of inspiration for me. You can see my jug of cleaning vinegar, but I got some pumpkins. Got a lot of beauty going on in here. Clean, drying laundry always pleases me. Now, I grew some different sunflowers this year. And so I've got some of these interesting colors mixed in with the normal stuff. Look at this beautiful little babe. Look at all the little pollen on his little legs. Take a moment to say hi to the bees. I love you, B. I'm on your side. Oh, look at these ones. Now, the best one, I got this, I'm like gothic looking sunflower over here. This just rich, velvety sunflower I'm about to show y'all is stunning. Yes, this dark one. It's so dark. I love it though. Something about the dark little sunflower. Be a children's book, The Dark Little Sunflower. One thing Sean grew this year is one thing I would never want him to grow again. I would never want to grow again. Burr gherkins. Got them from Baker Creek Seeds. They're in, look, that's a dead lanternfly. Y'all know those lanternflies are invasive. These Burr gherkins, they are so sharp and pointy. They taste like a cucumber inside, but with extra seeds. They're pointy and hard all over. You're supposed to pick them when they're smaller, but it's hard to catch them when you can't catch them when they're small. And honestly, it's just like eating a cucumber that's like a little M&M or something. You don't need a little cucumber like that with points all over it. The Burr gherkin, prolific. John will run the mower because it's taking over the sidewalk. Nothing grew as hardy as these disgusting spiky balls this year. I do not recommend the Burr gherkin. What I recommend is every single year of your life, find you a place to put sunflowers. There is nothing as joyous as a sunflower.